morning, boys and girls of the internet. Today is Monday, November 26, 2018. This will be vlog number 329. So about those quote-unquote live-action remakes that Disney is making. I say quote-unquote because they're not entirely live-action for a lot of them. Not a lot of them, I mean, yeah. Beauty and the Beast, they had people in them. But, like, The Jungle Book had, like, a boy. Like, a single human. The rest of it was computer animated. It was a CG movie. I'm sure, yeah, when Aladdin comes out, you know, yeah, it's gonna have actors. we already know this. But Lion King. The new Lion King trailer came out the other day, actually showing, you know, real scenes from the movie. And you can't call it a live-action movie. The movie's 100% CG. It's a cartoon. It's just a modern-day cartoon. You know, the old cartoon was a cartoon, old movie. This is just a modern cartoon. Now, I'm actually kind of wondering if they actually did film anything for this movie. You know what I mean? Did they actually film environments and have like real, like, you know, African savanna environments that they just dropped CG, you know, lions onto? Do they even have scenes of, like, say, a real lion doing things, like, you know, a trained lion, like maybe just like running or something, and that's like your scene? Or is the movie 100% CG? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, and I'm kind of interested to find out. But I'm pretty sure it is all 100% CG. I would laugh if it's like Homeward Bound, and all the animals, you know, the lions, when they talk, they don't have like facial animations. You just hear the voice coming from their general direction. That'd be funny. How they used to do back in the old days with, you know, talking animal pictures. No, but Disney's got to slow down with that shit. They're remaking everything, goddammit. And yeah, with something like The Jungle Book, it's a little bit of an older movie, or at least last time they came out with the Jungle Book movie, a real one. I know didn't they make a sequel like back in the 70s or 80s or something that was really terrible? I don't remember. But that movie came out a long ass time ago. Now, some people will say, oh, well, look at Aladdin and the Lion King. Those movies came out a long ass time ago, too. In my mind, I'm thinking, no, it's not that old. Yeah, they fucking are. They're, like, going on, you know, 25 years now. Because they came out in the early 90s. And yes, it's been that long. But still, 25 years, yeah. In one regard, a lot of people say, oh, if you remake a movie, you gotta wait, like, you know, a certain length of time before you remake it. 25 years is a lot of time. But to people who, of like an older generation than me, that they've been through this, where, you know, like Hollywood's been remaking things forever. It's just the way it, you know, Hollywood is. So remakes are nothing new. Like my dad would always say, oh yeah, like the King Kong they made like in the 30s is, you know, so much better than the one they made like in the 70s. Okay, I mean, it might be, but again, that's an example of remake. And there's movies that they made like in the 50s and they remake them in the 70s or something. And there, you think, oh, this is an long ass time ago. Who cares? Well, If they made a movie in the 50s and they remake in the 70s, that's only 20 years. So same thing here. You know, they make a movie in the early 90s and they remake it in the late 2010s. That's going on 30 years. But the Jungle Book came out in the 70s. So that's going on. That's going on like, 40, 45 years, 50 years maybe. So that's a long time. And I think that is a sufficient enough time to remake something. Because most of the time, the people who remember the original movie as a youth growing up, they hold no care for it now, in the same vein that, if you were younger, you have that you still have that a little bit shred of connection to the things of your youth that that sculpted you as a youth. Then again, I think with maybe how our culture kind of works nowadays, in terms of how people kind of share memories more socially and more open through the internet, I think that keeps things fresher for everybody. You know what I mean? If so one person goes like, oh yeah, that scene where the wildebeest come down and that's when Mufasa dies. Spoiler alert. People talk about it endlessly till today. And it keeps it fresh in your mind. I think, 20, 25 years after, say, Gone with the Wind came out, were people really sitting around, talking to their friends that had also seen it 25 years earlier, saying, oh yeah, when Rhett slapped her or something, I can't believe, or something. You know what I mean? It's that type of thing. I don't think that happened. So I think our culture now, that's what kind of keeps things fresher. And maybe if we didn't have the internet, I was a perish of the thought, it's kind of unfathomable. We wouldn't care if they remade something 25 years later. We'd just be all like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. We'd be more nostalgic for it. I guess it also depends on how connected you are to your youth. There's plenty of people who, yeah, they're around my age. They saw the original Lion King in the movie theaters when it came out, and they enjoyed it. They loved it, but they grew up and they never watched it again until like maybe they had kids and they showed it to their kids, and that's about it. That's like their only connection to it, is like they show it to their kids. But there's people like me who, if the Lion King is on TV and I'm just like browsing through the channels, I'll stop and I'll watch it myself. I don't have kids. I just love that movie. And I love a lot of those Disney movies. Aladdin, Little Mermaid. And they're just, they sculpted my youth, but I still have that connection to it. Now, when I was on the subject of Aladdin, God damn it, I wish that was the one that Disney didn't touch. I hoped and prayed. I don't pray, but I hoped that you didn't touch that one, simply because of how iconic of a role the genie is. And the genie is nothing without Robin Williams. We found that out from Aladdin 2. They couldn't get Robin Williams back for the direct-to-tape Aladdin 2. And the movie suffered for it. It was terrible. The movie itself was bad, but it was much, much worse given that there was no Robin Williams. They made a third one, and they got Robin Williams back. Even though that movie was terrible too, it was more tolerable and better because of Robin Williams. It's just that he's that iconic. And to have a genie with anybody else, it's heartbreaking. It's really, really heartbreaking for me. And I'm sure it is for a lot of people. And I kind of described, because, if you don't know, they got Will Smith to do the voice. Now, don't get me wrong, Will Smith is a great actor, and he can do just like Robin Williams. He can fit in really good with a lot of roles. He does his comedies really well, and he does his drama really well, and he can pretty much mold into a lot of roles. But when he does comedy, he is Will Smith. You know what I mean? He has that it's that kind of a mold of a Will Smith comedian, a comic actor, that you know it. Like, if you've seen anything funny of Will Smith that he made in movies, you know that character. And I feel that when he does the genie, all you're gonna see is Will Smith doing a comedic role. You're not gonna see the genie being done by Will Smith. You can see Will Smith. Now, some people might say, like, well, same thing with Robin Williams. Robin Williams was Robin Williams when he was a genie. He just let loose as Robin Williams. That's very true. But Robin Williams' comedy is on a completely different level that I would say anybody else who has ever lived. I'll go that strongly. How the hell do I get across to there? Okay, I'll just turn here. Shit, I could turn there. But you know what I mean? When Robin Williams did his comedic roles, he did about like 6 different roles. He molded himself that much that he was always on. He's always doing impersonations, and that is what made Robin Williams. And his brain moved at 9 million miles an hour, and you can't box him in, especially when he's doing comedy. And he's amazing at it. And so I think that it just won't be the genie. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'll go see it. Now, all these remakes that Disney's making, I've honestly only seen The Jungle Book. Now, I've seen Maleficent, even though that's not technically a remake. It's a prequel live action movie. So that one I did see. I didn't see Beauty and the Beast. I didn't want to see that movie. And there's a couple other ones that came out that I completely forgot right now that I know that they made. But again, I had my trepidations. I'm totally down with Lion King. That one I'm definitely going to see. I'm going to enjoy it because it's, number one, they did it right and got James Earl Jones. Thank you. You have to get James Earl Jones from Mufasa. That wouldn't have been right. Which, in retrospect, if you're going to remake The Lion King, yeah, better do it now, because James Earl Jones is no spring chicken, and before we also lose him. So if they made a live action, not live action, a modern animated Lion King movie, and you didn't have a James Earl Jones around, I would have cried foul. I'm like, no, don't touch it, don't do it. But at least we have James Earl Jones. That's important. Anybody else, I don't really care. That wasn't the important voices. It's how for Aladdin, I don't even remember who did the voice of Aladdin. That voice is, it's in your head. That voice. I don't know who the actor is who did it. That wasn't the important role. The important role was Robin Williams as the genie. So that one's gonna stick in my craw. I'm gonna see Lion King because I love the original. And of course I love, beautiful CGI when it's done right. Jungle Book really surprised me because that was extremely well done. But Aladdin, I have my reservations about, and I'll give it a shot. I ain't promising I'm gonna like it. I ain't promising I'm gonna hate it. I'm just gonna go see it for what it is. But man, Disney, you gotta stop it. I know they're making a Little Mermaid one too, and they're making a Mulan. What else are they gonna make? Who knows? I guess you could say the whole thing with their remakes, their quote-unquote live-action remakes, isn't a new thing, because wasn't in the 90s when they made 101 Dalmatians live-action? But they didn't continue that trend. They just made it, and that was it. They didn't continue that trend, so... Alright, that's my long-winded and rambling rant about Disney remakes of their iconic cartoons. Tell me what y'all think. You excited for the ones coming up? What's the one you're most excited for? Did you like the originals when they first came out? Were you alive when they first came out, or did you watch them, well after they came out? Secondhand. Like your parent or your older brother or sister let you watch it. Let me know. So I'll talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for watching. Everybody have a good day. I love you.